Kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound Kanti Talk Live.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candy Talk, open forum political discussion show, the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, the heated exchange between the Kenya government and their former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is boiling to something that may be a storm that may just warrant some consequences, either back home here or away from home. And that is Rigathi Gachagua's claims being made from the United States of America, as he is, of course, going around in his 2 months tour in the same place. You know, some of the revelations that he is spilling while he is in the United States are not sitting well with the William Ruto administration. Last day or two, the current Deputy President, Kindiki, and the current Interior CS, Murkomen, issued a threat for his arrest as soon as he gets back, to record a statement on some of the claims that William Ruto has connections with Al-Shabaab. William Ruto has connections with the militia group in Sudan as well as in Congo. Now, these are matters that the United States Senate is looking into. And so Rigathi Gachagua says if he has any people he needs to give evidence to and talk to is the Senate of the United States, because they are the ones who have launched an investigation into the allegations. But the Kenya government has no active case or active investigation underway that is looking into those claims, and of course putting a question mark on the president, William Ruto. So we are in interesting times, even as we ventilate on these issues. I tell you, this country is something else altogether. I mean, we never get over whatever that happens. One thing must lead to another, and in the process, the turns, the twists, the claims, the counterclaims are something that we just don't get over. So I invite your input even as we start the conversation. I call upon you to be an extension of what we're doing right here, right where you are. Share that link with somebody so that they can also join in the discourse and be able to give their views as well as participate into this great coming together of Kenyans as they look into this matter. So these exchanges between Rigathi Gachagua and the William Ruto administration, interesting indeed. And of course, Rigathi Gachagua says he's not ready to buy fear He's ready to give the time he will be returning, the play, wherever the flight number, and whoever has any interest in arresting him, he can as well, do what he thinks is good for him or good for his threat. Well, interesting moment. Thank you so much, Undumani. I can see you. Your link is coming shortly. Thank you, everyone. Please, makinika kukaribisha mtu. And those of you following us on TikTok, please be an extension of what we're doing. Tafadhali, share your live, karibisha mtu, ili tukamakinike kwa pamoja tunapoanza mdahalo wetu. I salute every one of you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your faithful followership. This is it as we look into these matters. Let's start with that story of Gachagua daring to those threatening arrest to go ahead and do their worst if they so choose. Now, as we get set to relay that story, please be an extension of what we're doing here. Please share the link. Karibisha mtu, tumakinike, kila mtu ashike doria. Hapa kila mtu ni kiongozi. So kama unatupata TikTok, wewe kwa extension ya kukaribisha mtu na kumuomba ajiunge nasi katika mdahalo huu. Tuko live kwa Facebook pia, Sound Candy Talk, and then YouTube Sound Candy Talk live. Every other person who wants to be part of this conversation, you can get us on those three platforms: TikTok, Sound Candy Talk, Facebook page, Sound Candy Talk, and then YouTube Sound Candy Talk live. Thank you. Let's hear this, start out with the Gachagua no fear claims and ready for anything that Kindiki would be planning or threatening with. Here we go.
At some politics, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua now says he's not afraid of being arrested. His comments coming just a day after Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki and Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen said Gachagua should record a statement with police over terrorism claims as soon as he returns to the country. Gachagua, who is in the United States for a 2-month tour, says he will publicly announce the date and time of his return, even as he warned Kindiki and Murkomen against issuing threats towards him. Our reporter David Mudhoka has the details.
Speaking in Los Angeles, California, Gachagua trained his guns directly on his successor, Professor Kithure Kindiki, and Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen.
Every day they discuss me in Parliament for 2 hours and say they will arrest me. I just move on. I am not a leader who buys fear. And as I have explained, I think Murkomen is lost. I'm not the one who have launched investigations against William Ruto. It's the American Senate.
Gachagua was referring to Kindiki and Murkomen's directive, seeking to have him record a statement with the police following his allegations days earlier that his former boss, President William Ruto, had held a secret meeting in Mandera with 3 leaders of the terror group Al-Shabaab. In his allegations, Gachagua further claimed that it was not just Al-Shabaab, but also Sudan's Rapid Support Forces accused of killing thousands of women and children, claiming that Ruto has been supplying the group with weapons. Still, Gachagua says he has no intention of keeping his return date a secret in what appeared to be a dare to the government.
When my day to go to Kenya is due, I'll announce the date,
Yes.
the hour, and the flight number.
Thank you very much.
So that whoever is interested in arresting me can go ahead and do it.
In his attack, Gachagua went after his successor specifically.
Oh, mimi ni fire, mimi ni norma. Oh, don't push me around. I want to tell Soprano to take time to read Wallace Soyinka. In one of his greatest works, he says, a tiger does not proclaim its tiger shoot. It bounces. So, if you are what you say you are, act. Don't keep on threatening.
This war of words comes just days after reports emerged that the United States Senate is investigating the Kenyan government to establish whether it has ties with Al-Shabaab, the RSF, and whether it was involved in the killing of 128 protesters over the past 2 years, before recommending whether Kenya should be removed or retained as a major non-NATO ally. The Senate has been given 180 days to conduct the probe and present its findings, recommendations that could have far-reaching national consequences.
Those issues were raised by the Americans, not myself. So I have nothing useful I can tell him. But if the Americans want me to assist in the investigations, I would, because that's where the investigation is.
Meanwhile, Deputy Inspector General of Police Ruto Govt, who recently resumed duty after stepping aside to allow investigations into the brutal killing of teacher Albert Ojwang, was forced to respond to questions on whether his recent visit to Mandera had any connection to Gachagua's claims that Ruto met Al-Shabaab leaders in the county months ago.
It is not related whatsoever, because I am not privy even of the story that you're saying.
Lagat instead commended security forces for maintaining peace in the Mandera region. David Muthoka, NTV.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye You are watching Sound Candy Talk live.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there is some challenges with the camera. Just hold on, we are sorting that out. In the meantime, let's just have this bite.
Kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound Candy Talk live. Tonight,
the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, a lot is taking place so fast. Therefore, everybody must work hard to stay on the cutting edge as far as making sense of our politics is concerned, and of course, remaining on top of all matters.
Tonight,
this is Sound Candy Talk live. 72 people have cast their vote already, and only 42 have liked the video. Justified. So from the look of things, the majority of Kenyans think the government need to up their. Glad to report we are back on the main channel as well, and therefore we are asking everybody to join from wherever you are. Sound Candy Talk live YouTube channel, and we are also live on X as well as extended to Facebook.
Speaking from the Holy Names University, San Francisco, California, United States, Gachagua hit back at the Kenya Kwanza government.
So please spare those threats for other characters. Riggy is beyond threats, and you know it. And we must speak for the people of Kenya, because if we don't do it, there will be no country. You have compromised Raila Odinga, you have bought parliament, you have bought Senate, If you succeed in silencing us to talk for the people of Kenya, who will speak for the people of Kenya? I cannot be intimidated.
Accusing it of using fear and political intimidation to silence opponents.
If the fear of arrest was part of my thinking, I'll never do anything. I'll just stay in the house. Every day they discuss me in parliament for 2 hours and say they will arrest me. I just move on. I am not a leader who buys fear. And as I have explained, I think Murkomen is lost. I'm not the one who have launched investigations against William Ruto. It's the American Senate. Those issues were raised by the Americans, not myself. So I have nothing useful I can tell him.
He said he will publicly announce his return date, time and flight details, standing firm against what he described as political harassment.
When my day to go to Kenya is due, I'll announce the date,
yes,
the hour, and the flight number.
Thank you very much.
So that whoever is interested, in arresting me can go ahead and do it. And let me tell you, I was arrested many times before the new administration. I never changed my stand. In fact, it hardened my resolve. All those things they are doing, they are just hardening the resolve of our supporters.
The former DP accused Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen of doublespeak, questioning how he can claim that the police service is independent while publicly announcing plans to arrest him.
You cannot use criminal justice system to suppress freedom of speech and expression. It's a very outdated practice that was tried by Moi. It cannot work. I don't think by him threatening that he can arrest me can make me not express what I need to. So I'll continue with what I'm doing, and if they want to arrest me, I am a Kenyan, the courts are there, they'll take me to court, I'll go there, and if they have any charges against me, they will prefer them.
On ethnic politics, Gachagua warned against dragging the entire communities into political conflicts as he defended the Somali community and the people of Mandera, accusing President Ruto's allies of playing dangerous tribal games.
So the senator of Mandera, don't drag the Somali community into the challenges facing William Ruto. It's William Ruto who is being told to account by the Americans for his activities with the terrorist organizations. The people of Mandera, the Somali community, are innocent and have nothing to do with it.
Gachagua further issued a direct appeal to the United Nations and the United States government to safeguard Kenya's reputation as a regional peace anchor by addressing what he called reckless and dangerous leadership.
We want Kenya to remain there. We want Kenya to continue playing a very important role in stabilizing the whole of Africa and the region. And the problem is not Kenya. The problem is the leadership. So the UN Security Council, the United States, they need to deal with William Ruto so that Kenya is preserved to continue playing that important role as an anchor state to ensure there is peace and stability in the region.
With his return date and flight details set to be announced soon, Gachagua challenge marks a dramatic escalation in Kenya's political turmoil. Edwin Bugwam, K24.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Please confirm if you're able to get me. We ran into some hiccups here, but I trust it's fixed. So thank you, everybody. That is Rigathi Gachagua giving his dare to the William Ruto administration for his arrest, like they are claiming, in the sense that the questions being raised are not being raised by Gachagua, they're being raised by the United States of America's Senate that have been given 180 days to investigate the claims. Now, like we said here yesterday, this places this country in a very bad position. And I would that if we really seek to salvage the image, the respect, and of course, the sovereignty of this great nation, these are matters not to be brushed off or to be turned into a political tussle. I think they need to be given required attention. there are some forbidden fruits when it comes to national leadership. Forbidden fruits. What I mean by forbidden fruits is a level of engagement that you can't engage yourself in, even if you have an interest, especially if you have to do it directly. And what Gachagua is raising, as much as Gachagua was deputy to William Ruto, and he is part and parcel, or he was part and parcel of the Kenya Kwanza administration, and some of those atrocities that he's talking about took place while he is deputy president. So his matters are not, to be taken as, absolute truths or absolute facts, in the sense that he kept silent when that took place. He did not speak when that happened while he was deputy president, until he was what? Impeached. After impeachment, he's peeling the beans. And so that makes what he's giving, to be questioned. But that aside, I really would want us to accurately look into this without any bias, and that is national leadership comes with serious, great sense of responsibility. And you see this playing into the, I would say, the international politics, okay, where the president of America refuses to meet a particular president simply because he has questionable, matters. All that happens. And so when a former deputy president claims that there were meetings, and these meetings were being done directly, okay, by the president meeting people who are leaders of sects or outlawed groups, then it is not something to be, taken lightly. It's not something to be taken lightly. And what is the worst that can happen in such a scenario? Do you envision a case where the president is kidnapped? So what happens? By the way, that's just by the way. We are here free to think and, of course, reason out and ventilate on various issues. What does the Constitution say if the president gets kidnapped? Are we supposed to raise a ransom or declare general elections to have him replaced? Now, I want you to imagine such a scenario where William Ruto has gone to Mandera to meet Al-Shabaab, then Al-Shabaab abducted William Ruto went with him in Somalia. What becomes of this country? And what becomes of the leadership? And so, as much as this, we may make fun of it, it's a serious allegation that we can't just wish it away. So I encourage us to talk openly and, of course, be able to question these things, because without raising proper questions, we can't get proper answers. And without those proper answers, we are doomed as a people. And so I really want to call us to this in a more candid way to analyze what's going on. What's going on? Why is it that the Kenya Kwanza administration borders so much to what is wrong than what is right? Why is it that this administration is so much into, doing what they are doing without regard for the law than they are doing in regard for the law? And if this is what is happening, what is left for Kenyans? What can Kenyans do in order to ensure that they don't, continue in a country like this? Because presidency is sacred, to say the least. You all remember the sound bite by Mwalimu Nyerere when he was claiming, or rather calling, the political leaders to order by saying Ikulu ni mahali patakatifu. Ikulu sio mahali pa kukimbilia. Na ukiona mtu anataka sana kwenda Ikulu mpaka yuko tayari kutoa pesa ili ahongane aende huko, ambia huyo ni mtu hatari sana. Anasema huyo ni mtu anapaswa kukwepwa kama ukoma. So Ikulu sio mahali pa kukimbilia. Na tukitumia huo mfano wa Mwalimu Nyerere, inakwenda bila kusema kwamba kuwa kiongozi wa taifa, kuwa rais, sio jukumu la kila mtu na sio nafasi ambayo kila mtu anaweza kuijaza. Ni jukumu kubwa ambalo lina heshima zake, lina majukumu yake, lina msimamo wake. So maswala kama haya hayapaswi kutajwa, hayapaswi hata kukisiwa. Kwa nini? It's a sacred responsibility. You can't soil yourself by engaging with questionable characters, because that places your presidency and your leadership in question. And so we are bordering evil. We are bordering, unacceptable dealing. Why should that be the case in the first place? Is it that we don't have a sense of responsibility when it comes to leadership? Is it that we are now toying around with the president? We think anything and everybody can be president, and so the president has been turned into a circus? So these are gravy matters that I really wouldn't want us to brush them off just like that. And so, as unbelievable as Gachagua looks, and as questionable as he is being questioned, I believe we as Kenyans need to conference around this and ask, are we being led rightly or we're being led wrongly? Are we cutting ties with people that are unacceptable on the international platform in terms of them being investigated for doing whatever atrocities against humanity, crimes against humanity? What is your take? Everybody, thank you for being part of this. Na kama una swali uliza, kama una maoni nione hayo maoni. Wale ambao mnatufuata kwa TikTok, uliza swali lako hapo ama weka comment yako hapo. Undumani, link nimeweka kwa WhatsApp. Hebu angalia alafu kaingie tukajadili masuala haya kwa kina. Namuona nani kwea pale, karibu. Tuni anasema why he didn't say before he gets impeached. I can't believe. Now that's also part of why we are questioning the whole thing, that only after somebody leaves office is when they begin to spill the beans. But while they're in the office, I know there is, of course, the oath of secrecy and the oath of keeping everything while you're serving in parliament. And so probably that would be an explanation. But if things are bordering to gross violation of the constitution, things are bordering to endangering the safety and the well-being of the Kenyan people, that is not something for you to keep quiet over, even if you took an oath to be quiet. So I really wouldn't believe that it was that oath of secrecy or that oath of fidelity that makes somebody keep quiet when things like this are happening. I wouldn't, in my own calculated opinion, keep silent when the country is in danger. Keep silent when deals are being cut that are going directly against our constitution and are placing the lives of Kenyans in danger. That our national leader is having ties with questionable groups. Now, probably many of us may not be able to appreciate this, but history has lessons. History has lessons. And when we consider our history properly, or rather, yes, when we derive lessons from our history, we stand a better chance to, escape what may swallow us or run right into the same. I just want to remind you that you remember the now DRC country, the Democratic Republic of Congo, was once called Zaire, okay? And while it was called Zaire, in fact, it was changed to Zaire by Mobutu Sese Seko. Those of you that can remember the famous leader in that particular country. Something went wrong. Of course, he enriched himself by, of course, trading the country in the interest of the foreigners, as it is claimed. But the reason I bring up the Mobutu Sese Seko story is when he was to leave office, okay? When he was to leave office because he was forced out of office, something happened that there was no country willing to receive him, okay? He's been rejected at home. He needs to go for asylum. He needs to go to exile. But every country is avoiding to associate with him. Now, that's how bad things get. And that's why I'm bringing up that story, because we seem not to be seeing this as a serious matter. From what I'm seeing trending and what I'm seeing Kenyans talk about is the usual, tribal politics. But this is a very serious international matter, okay? So when Mobutu Sese Seko had to, he needs to go for exile, and where he wants to go, nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. Every country turned him down, including his closest friends, including the people he ate with, including the people he looted the country in their favor. When he became questionable and when he was being kicked out of power, nobody wanted to admit him in his country. It was at the 11th hour that I think Morocco accepted him. And that's where he went, and that's where he died. Now, I need you to have this as, a factor to consider, that if we are having close ties with Al-Shabaab, okay, we are having close ties with RC what? the Sudanese rebel group, okay? And then we are having close ties with M23 in Congo as a country. Are we not seeking to be isolated? Are we not seeking to come a place where nobody would want to have anything to do with us? And if that happens, what becomes of Kenyans who are in the diaspora? What happens to Kenyans who are working in different countries? And we one of the things that we do and we're known for as a country is export of labor, not just any labor, expert labor. So before these things begin to come in the surface and begin to, come into play, do we have that sense of responsibility that I am a national leader, and if I'm seen, imagined, or associated with this group, is going to place this country into this mess. And for the sake of the country, I will avoid it. It doesn't matter how the deal looks. It doesn't matter how profitable the deal is. And so as a people, please let us investigate this matter. Yes, let's not brush it off with the usual Murkomen Kindiki stories of threats. If there is any truth in this, then there must be sufficient grounds to conclude that our country is in problems and we need to fix it. We need to fix it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue the conversation, please be here and let's make progress. I'm still waiting for my crews to come in and be able to give their views on the same. So let's ventilate on this as this matter continues to build up.
Oh, we know.
Be back shortly.
Back to politics, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has dared President William Ruto's administration to arrest him when he jets back to the country from his U.S. tour. This comes after Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen intimated that the DCP party leader is expected to record a statement once he returns to the country for linking the head of state with the Al-Shabaab militia group. Now, Gachagua has been on the government's radar over his continued onslaught on President Ruto's government.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is escalating his onslaught against President William Ruto's administration. Days after lauding the move by the United States Senate to review Kenya's status as a NATO ally over violation of human rights within and outside its borders, including linking President Ruto with the Sudan war crisis, Gachagua has dared the state to walk the talk and arrest him.
I'll announce the date,
yes,
the hour, and the flight number.
Thank you very much.
So that whoever is interested, in arresting me can go ahead and do it.
During his ongoing tour of the United States of America, Rigathi Gachagua sensationally claimed that President William Ruto met with 3 Al-Shabaab militia leaders at night in Mandera County. Gachagua's comments have rattled the ruling Kenya Kwanza administration.
Because he has said he has information and he knows and he has an agent who is sitting in meetings with Al-Shabaab, as soon as he lands in Kenya, he must record a statement to tell us exactly which meetings he's doing with terrorists.
Kenya ni kubwa kuliko viongozi wao. Taifa la Kenya na usalama wake ni muhimu. Na kwa hivyo wale ambao wanasema wako na habari ya mambo ya ugaidi, ya mambo ya Al-Shabaab, lazima wajibike.
If you are what you say you are, act. Don't keep on threatening. You know, that's what Ole Soyinka says. A tiger does not proclaim its tigerhood. It bounces. So please spare those threats for other characters. Rig G is beyond threats, and you know it. And we must speak for the people of Kenya, because if we don't do it, there will be no country. You have compromised Raila Odinga, you have bought parliament, you have bought Senate. If you succeed in silencing us to talk for the people of Kenya, who will speak for the people of Kenya?
In his continued onslaught on his former boss, President William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua says he is ready to provide evidence to the United States government as he calls for US to institute sanctions on President Ruto over links with leaders of armed groups involved in Sudan war crisis in rapid support forces.
If I'm required to help the things I know on the issues in Sudan, the dealings with RSF, I'm ready to help. But the Americans, not the Kenyan government. Because the Kenyan government has not raised any issue. They are comfortable with what is happening.
Jeff Kirui, KTN.
Meanwhile, politicians...
Okay, madai ya Gachagua hayo anayodai kwamba yeye anazungumza kwa sababu anataka kuokoa Kenya. Maswali yanayoulizwa hapa, hata na PS wetu hapa Tuni anauliza, mbona wakati alikuwa deputy president hakuongea? wakati alikuwa ndani ya serikali. Haya mambo yote yalikuwa yakifanyika, amenyamaza. Ilikuwa mpaka atimuliwe ndipo aongee, na kama hiyo ndio desturi ama hiyo ndio sheria, basi angenyamaza, kwa sababu kuna lile inaitwa nini agizo ambalo huwa linatolewa kwa harusi. Inasemekana kama kuna yeyote hapa ambaye ana sababu ya hawa wawili wasiunganishwe pamoja kama mke na mume, basi aseme sasa ama anyamaze milele. Na so kama wakati alikuwa kwa serikali aliona mkubwa wake anaenda kukutana na Al-Shabaab, mkubwa wake anakutana na militia group ya Sudan, mkubwa wake huyo ana uhusiano na M23, akanyamazia. Yani bora yeye akuwe deputy president, Kenya inaweza kuuzwa, Kenya inaweza kuwekwa hatarini, hakuna wakati atasema. Lakini wakati ametimuliwa tu, basi inakuwa sasa, nilikuona, nilisikia, nilikuwa kwa mkutano, nikasikia. So one of the things that are making Gachagua unbelievable is this. But beside that, I also want us not to brush it off casually, because it's a serious allegation that requires us to ventilate on, and we can't dismiss it on political grounds, or dismiss it simply because it is being said by a wrong messenger, for that matter. Let us not destroy the message because of the messenger. Let's also allow us to look into the message and, deal with the messenger later. Let's look into the message, okay? If there is any truth in this matter, then we are in danger as a country. We are not safe. And that is what I want us to allow ourselves to think in that direction. Because I can see a lot of everybody going for the defense and trying to look for the easy way out. But I think that hard way out, that questioning this matter is and allowing investigation. And now when I'm talking about investigation, I'm not talking about DCI or NIS. I'm not talking about that, a judicial system. I'm just talking about you as an individual and as a Kenyan. Can you ventilate and look keenly in this matter? Are we having a desperate president? Are we having a desperate government that is so desperate to a level whereby it's cutting deals with wrong people? And if they are cutting deals with wrong people, are we safe? So it's not just a matter of, us saying, because Gachagua is the one saying it, and he's saying it at the wrong time. He's saying it because he has been is grieved for being impeached. Those are valid arguments. I agree with you. It's valid arguments. But let's not throw away the message simply because we have question marks on the messenger. Let's interrogate the message. And then, of course, looking at the pattern and the operatives of the Kenya Kwanza administration, in your own calculation, is there anything can restrict the operations of the Kenya Kwanza administration from these allegations? Left alone, William Ruto left alone, the Kenya Kwanza administration left alone. I want you to imagine, you remember that time when the Azimio were doing protests against the Ruto administration, and then what are they called? They call them what? Development partners, okay? Came back and now are calling on Raila Odinga and the Azimio team to go slow on the William Ruto and give him time to settle down and be able to work. That the force and the power of the Azimio people protesting against William Ruto was too much. And so they had to come in and intervene for cooling it down. Now, I want you to imagine that aspect where there is zero opposition, there is zero questioning. Is there a way, is there a possibility that William Ruto can cut deals with the outlawed groups? I leave that for you. Give me what you think in the comment section. Kuna uwezo ndani ya William Ruto unaweza kumzuia kukata hizi deals, ama Gachagua anasema ya kwake tu? Niambie. Let me hear what you think. It's very fascinating. It's very fascinating. Well, okay. Bashatizo anasema hakuna kitu inaweza zuia Ruto. Sitaki kutumia mfano, lakini kuna nini, the temptation. I don't think I think it's my Archbishop Benson de la Rosa saying that don't tempt me with a miracle because I'll fall flat into it. He said, when it comes to a miracle, I don't pray about it. I fall inside and then I pray while I'm inside it. Now, there are those tendencies and way of operations that can't allow my mind and my perspective to exonerate William Ruto from this kind of allegations until they are proven otherwise. And that is born out of the way it has been. The way it has been. The 3 years of William Ruto in office have shown a lot of gravitating towards lawlessness than rule of law and complete persuasion of the law. We've seen numerous adjustments to the law just to accommodate William Ruto and his policies. And that should speak volumes. That should speak volumes. We have not had this kind of precedents where the president has to change the constitution or rather the law to accommodate his policies. Kibaki came in and gave free primary education, but there was no reviewing of the law to accommodate free primary education. Okay, I mean, Hustler Fund, adjust the law. Housing levy, adjust the law. You know, adjust the law. No, that is a pattern. This is a pattern that needs to be, you know, not to be brushed off. It's a pattern where when somebody doesn't fit, it's like, you know, you don't buy when you're told you must operate from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, okay, and you find yourself you can fit in this, you will move. You move the goalposts. You shift the standard to suit you. Now that's where I'm talking about. When we don't follow the law and begin to adjust the law in order for us to operate, then we are the problem. It's not the law. We are the problem. It's not the law. And so I really want to call us to this reality, because when somebody begins to change the law in order to operate, then you know he is the problem. You know he is the problem. It's just like you're given a tape measure, and the tape measure is supposed to take the standard of your dress or your suit and all that. And then what happens? Instead of you as an individual ensuring that you get the proper measurements, you begin now to attack the tape measure. You say this tape measure is too narrow, or this tape measure is not, you know, it needs to be stretched in order for it to get my measurements. No, you're the one supposed to adjust to the tape measure, not the tape measure to adjust to you. Why? The tape measure is a standard. And that's what the law is. The law is supposed to groom us. The law is supposed to you know, constrain us, or constrain our appetites, constrain our excesses, constrain our greed. But when it comes to you want to do something, the law forbids what you want to do, and now you go to change the law. That speaks volumes about your person, speaks volumes about your way of operation. And so as much as we have every reason to question what Gachagua is saying, we also have sufficient proofs within the patterns of the operations of the Kenya Kwanza administration to give a benefit of doubt on the claims, in the sense that the probability of those things happening are not far from reality, are not far from actually happening. And that is bad news to our beloved country. It's bad news to the future of this great country. It's bad news to the dignity and the respect that we have commanded as a country all along. And I still encourage us to seriously look into this and deal with it accurately. I can see Emilia Viambo alikuwa bado anatega panya. Okay, Silva. Alikuwa bado anatega panya, ndimi panya ifanye nini? Okay, now anasema alikuwa busy akiweka zile mitego, alisema ameweka State House nani asipite. I think is maybe I will say that our national leaders, especially our political leaders, are never serious when it comes to safeguarding this country. I would say that safeguarding this country and safeguarding the future of this country. We have a lot of people joking with national responsibility and mass leadership, or the majority of Kenyans, the welfare of the majority of Kenyans. Some of the people we have in politics, and unfortunately, I would say the majority of the people we have in politics are not in for the country, are not in for the people. They are in for themselves. And that is a sad reality that as a people, we must, reevaluate and look into. It is sad, it's heartbreaking, but we have to live up to it, in the sense that some of these things that are happening cannot be happening if we really had leaders who have the interests of the country at heart and who are acting in the interest of the people. But what we are having is people who use, or rather leaders who want to sacrifice the people to safeguard themselves. Look the way the one-term and two-term thing is running the country. Now, I find it to be very interesting that we are so sucked into the one-term, the two-term debate, as if they have dropped from somewhere. From where I sit, one term is normal. Two term is also what? Normal. And the reason why there is an election between first term and second term is to see whether you are qualified for second term or not. There is no automatic second term. Unless you people will tell me there's a new constitution. There's no automatic second term. For you to get second term, you must win an election. So the debate about one term, second, 2 terms should not be arising. The reason why we have an election between the terms is so that somebody can win the term. So it is not that second term belongs to William Ruto. It doesn't. It can go to anybody. It can go to Ajakoya. It can go to who else? My friend and pastor, Ruben Kigami. All the people, presidential candidates, any of them can be the one to win the second term. So this argument that somebody has to be given the second term, it's not anywhere in the law. It's not anywhere in the constitution. You only qualify for the second term when you win an election. Just like you qualified for the first term when you won an election. That's the way it is. So why it is a big issue, I don't understand. Why it is driving the conversation in the country, I don't see it. So we as Kenyans, we also need to be careful with these political players. They are playing us, setting us against each other so that we don't question their operations. Things like this, these are gravy matters. At President alienda kukutana Al-Shabaab, akakutana na nini, militia groups. Now, we are not taking this serious because we are caught up into one term. If you say this, you are one term. You say this, you are 2 term. We thrive in trivialities when we ignore serious, gravy, major matters that can sink the country. Okay, you wait when, for example, some deals were cut between the leader of the country and these militia groups, and the deal goes bad. What do you expect? What do you expect? You think the Al-Shabaab will come for Ruto? Huh? Or they will come and claim Ruto, or they will come and kidnap Ruto's son? The retaliation of these militia groups in case these deals go bad, I'm just assuming they are deals, okay? It will only affect the Ruto family. It will only affect the first family. No. And that's why we must go beyond this debate of 1 term, 2 term. If I must be promoted, I went to school when school was still school. You don't go to the next class without passing the exam of the previous class. And so William Ruto must win the second term to become second term president. If he doesn't win, he goes home. Trump lost, he went home. He came back late. Biden kept off running to defend his second term. It's normal operations. So people for second term is not part of this argument. And nobody should be doing that. No right-thinking Kenyans should be buying into that aspect. If the constitution doesn't make provision for it, we don't have time for it. We shouldn't give time to it. And so if William Ruto wants second term, he should be prepared to win the elections. And if he has to win the elections, then he has to persuade the Kenyans. The only way to persuade the Kenyans is kunjema onekana asubuhi. How you did the first term will determine whether you are for the second term or not. It is that simple. And so I really want us not to, get carried away with the unnecessary political debates that are not adding value to the constitution and to the well-being of our Kenyan people. And one such a person that has, raised a storm on this matter is my Senator Edwin Sifuna. In his, open declaration that the way things are going and the way the country is speaking, majority of Kenyans are not for the William Ruto re-elections. Now, that is subject to, of course, let the people decide. You heard what Raila Odinga said. Whether there will be a second term for William Ruto or not, it is the Kenyans that will decide. And it's important that we emphasize that, because if the constitution says the Kenyan people are the ones to decide, then we should let the Kenyan people decide. Not one individual, not one community, not one region. Let the people decide. You know the history of let the people decide. That was a maxim by the late illustrious son of the soil, Kenneth Matiba. Let the people decide. That has been a rallying call for all the people that are pushing for democratic running of this country. If we only let the democracy, or rather let the people decide maxim, and we actualized it, we wouldn't be where we are. We would not be where we are. The greatest enemy of this country is standing in the way of let the people decide. That the people have decided this way, and then there are people who are not satisfied with that decision of the people. They want to overturn it and turn it into something they would prefer to work with. And this goes for all stakeholders, including the so-called development partners who interfere with our elections results. The moment that happens, we end up in a mess. And one of the reasons why we are where we are is this interfering with let the people decide. And so we should allow the Kenyan people to go to the ballot and decide who becomes their president. Not that I have served one term, I must serve the second term. No. There are people who lost second term. It's called Lee Kinyanjui, former Nakuru governor, served first term, lost second term. We have Evans Kidero, former governor of Nairobi, served first term, lost second term. He went home. It is that way. So why are we caught up into this mess? One term, two term, no term, not. Why are we sucked into this madness? It is that simple. You lose election, you go home. There's no insisting. You see? Another governor, Lusaka, served Bungoma first term, lost second term, went home. This the best performing governor, say in quotes, Ruto Mreithi, okay? An independent governor served full term, no impeachment threats, no nothing, and lobbying. He had no MCS, he was independent, but he had a peaceful sailing through, served first term, lost second term, he's home. So why are we obsessed with securing a term that somebody has not won elections? And of course, the elections have not even been declared. And so I really want to call Kenyans, let's question these serious matters and stop the aspect of one term, second term, and third term. Well, let's listen out to this soundbite by Sifuna on the issues of the state of the nation and where he wants to identify with, where he wants to, to be remembered with. And then from there, we'll be analyzing that. And then we begin to call it a day. Well, let's listen to my senator, Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna. Here we go.
Na gavana leo nimekuwa Kitale, sehemu inaitwa Saboti. Saboti wanaongea lugha ambayo mnaongea hii. Wanasema ni one term Saboti. Nimekuwa Kabuchai, Bungoma, wanazungumza lugha ambayo mnazungumza hapa. Wanasema ni one term. Nimekuwa Bumula. Mheshimiwa, na tarehe 31 tutakuwa na kikosi chetu wapi? Busia. Tunataka pia wasikie. Na Kisii mnasemaje? Wanda. Haya. Alafu wanaenda kusema Sifuna ndiye amesema simenyewe mzee. Kuna kijana kuna kijana amezungumza hapa, tumeambiwa mambo ya passwords na nini. Unajua kitu ambayo wamesahau. Sisi vijana hatuheshimu password. Wale watu wanafanya hacking ya simu na bank na wale wa mulot wanaweza iba M-Pesa yako ukiwa umekaa hapa. Ni kina nani? Ni kina nani? So sisi tunawaambia password yao wakae nayo tu. Tutapiga simu mahali inaitwa mulot. Kuna vijana huko mulot wanajua kufungua simu yako bila kuwa na password. So mimi nataka niseme jambo la mwisho moja peke yake, ya kwamba kama nchi nzima vile tumezungumza Kitui, vile mmesema Kisii, vile mmesema Western, inamaanisha kwamba Mheshimiwa Simba Arati, all the forces of good, munisikize vizuri, all the forces of good must find each other. Must find each other. Na nilisema wazi mbele ya taifa zima na mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu ya kwamba haijalishi wewe ni nani, background yako ni gani, historia yako ni gani, kama unakubaliana na ile kauli ambayo imetolewa hapa na wananchi, lazima sisi sote tufanye kazi pamoja. Sisi sote lazima tufanye kazi pamoja. Ikuwe ni Matiang'i, ikuwe ni Kalonzo, ikuwe ni Sifuna, tunataka hizi pipe zote ziingie kwa drum moja. Drum ijae mpendo. Drum ijae mpendo. Mimi Sifuna niko tayari kufanya kazi na mtu yoyote ambaye ataniambia lazima tukomboe nchi yetu. Mnanielewa? Hatuwezi kuendelea hivi. Ndugu zangu, hatuwezi kuendelea hivi. Mimi niliwaambia haijalishi kitu ambayo unafanya. Mheshimiwa Sunkuya ametuambia anataka barabara. Mimi nakaa najiuliza, Mheshimiwa Sunkuya, sijui kama uko na watoto wewe, lakini kuna rafiki yangu alipigwa risasi pale Nairobi anaitwa Rex Masai. Na alipigwa risasi kwa mguu na akakufa. Nimekutana na hawa wazazi wa Rex Masai. Ukiuliza mama ya Rex Masai, mama, tukutengenezee barabara ya kwenda kwako ama turudishe kijana yako hai, mnafikiria atasema nini? Atachagua nini? Sunkuya, I would rather be poor and alive. I would rather be poor and alive. If you are constructing roads so that the Subarus from the DCI can find an easy ride zikiingia kuchukua vijana wetu. If you are building roads, kama hii barabara unasema hii ya Isinya kwenda Kiseria ilikuwa mbaya muda mrefu. Tulijenga hii barabara ndio hasi ipate muda yani wakati rais kuingiza mili ya watu ambao wamepigwa risasi na polisi. That is not the reason why we build this road. We build this road so that we can, all of us who are alive, be able to better ourselves, to better the lives of our people. I can tell you that if you read the Constitution in the preamble, the government we wanted is one that respects the sanctity of life, one that respects the dignity of Kenyans, one that respects all of us. All of us. So the government we want to form in 2022 is not the one that will build the market. 2027 is not the one that will build the markets here in Kajiado. It's not the one that will build roads to Kisii. Just one that will protect life as the most important for us in Kenya. So, nataka nizungumzia IBC na niketi. Mimi najua Wakenya wameamua. Mtu akikwambia tusijui tungoje 2027. I feel like watu wameshaamua. Hao watu sasa hivi kuwapea ballot Sunkuya, wanapeleka watu nyumbani. Sasa hivi. Na tunataka wakati Wakenya watazungumza 2027, mtu asijaribu kukoroga matokeo ama aharibu sauti ya Wakenya. Ninapata wasiwasi sana ninapoona zile decisions ambao hawa ndugu zetu wageni wa IBC wanafanya. Jambo la kwanza, Mheshimiwa Koleleni, wewe unajua kwamba sheria inasema mtu akiondoka kwa nomination slot, kama alikuwa amenominatiwa under category ya youth, unatafuta ule alikuwa next kwa category ya youth unampatia. Kama alikuwa under women ama workers ama PWDs, unachagua next kwa hiyo category, si ndio? Haiwezekani mtu alikuwa kwa list ya PWD kwa mfano ameondoka, uende uchukue category ya workers. What that does is that it results in underrepresentation of the category that person was nominated. Sasa kuna kijana yako hapa Kajiado anaitwa Ketora. Ketora was the next person kwa list ambayo Mbadi alikuwa nominated. Mbadi was nominated under the category ya workers. Hawa jamaa wakaenda wakachukua mtu kutoka kwa list nyingine wakamweka pale ndani. Unanielewa? Sai sheria inasema waandae uchaguzi mdogo 90 days after receiving a writ ya kwamba kuna vacancy. Wameweka chaguzi ndogo 27th of November, which is almost 110 days from today. From Friday actually when they gazetted. They are blatantly breaking the law. Hawa ni watu, na niliwauliza hata hiyo ya Ketora. Wakaniambia wewe si tushamaliza, we are functors official, if you have a problem go to court. Hawa ni watu ambao tunaweza kusema one term, alafu wao waseme two term, alafu watuambie tuende kotini kama tunataka. So Wakenya nataka mfunguke macho. Mfunguke macho, tunataka hawa ndugu zetu wajue. We will not allow interference in the voice of the people because you can only govern people who have given you consent to govern them. Hamuta tulazimishia rais wakati tumesema aende nyumbani. Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki.
Okay, there you have it. My Super Senator Edwin Sifuna speaking openly and clearly for everyone that wish to hear and understand, to apply themselves appropriately. And he has raised issues there, which I think are important for every Kenyan to consider. Yeah, important for every Kenyan to consider. As a country, we must find a way out of the mess we are in. And the finding of that way will require us to be sober, vigilant, and of course put the interests of the country above our personal desires and our personal ambition. And that's why he says that the pursuant, or rather the seekers of good for this country, need to find each other. My Archbishop of blessed memory, Benson Idahosa, used to say, one light will find another. One light will find another. And so, when different lights light together, of course, the coverage becomes wider and the impact becomes greater. And so it says all the people that are speaking the language of rescuing Kenya and re-establishing Kenya on the rule of law, and of course upholding the sanctity of life, defense and protection of the lives of Kenyans. These people need to find each other and work together, because where we are headed, we cannot afford anymore to continue the wrong path, because it is not helping the situation and is not profiting. I agree with him 100%. And of course, there is a reason why we have a constitution. There is a reason why we are a democratic, nation. And that democracy needs not just to be working, but to be seen to be working. And so he raised some red flags about the current commissioners of IEBC and their first week or first month in office. They seem to be taking orders from somewhere. They are not following due process. And they are asking people to go to court if you don't agree with them. Now, isn't that the sign? Hiyo sio dalili ya mvua ni mawingu. That is it. Hiyo sio dalili ya mvua ni mawingu. They are taking a decision. That decision is in conflict with both the tradition and the requirement of the current law. And then when questions are raised, they are quick to say, if you don't agree with us, go to court. Are they not telling us that will go out there and vote in 2027 and be able to vote out somebody, and then they will put that somebody back in office and ask us to go to court? Those are the questions that Sifuna is raising, which, in my opinion, are valid, very much valid. We have had this more than enough times to believe and see signals. These are not signs of an independent electoral commission. We are already seeing somebody taking orders, and that makes Kenyans very much afraid, makes Kenyans very much disappointed. I mean, until now, I've not come to terms on why they got rid of the Cherera 4. Because the group they are brought in, the same things they accused of the Cherera 4 is the same things that are coming up right now, just a month or so, when these people are in office. They can't follow the law. They're still taking orders. Na hii kasumba ya kuchukua orders, sijui tu ni nini kinasumbua wa Kenya. These issues of orders from above has sunk this country into a mess. Orders from above has destroyed this country. Orders from above has messed the coexistence of this country. Why can't we just stop this thing once and for all, follow the law, and do the right thing for once? You are hired. Those commissioners are in office. They have what is called security of tenure. Okay? That means if they are gotten out of office, they will need to be paid the full salary of their 6 years contract at IEBC. Now, you have security of tenure, you have your salary, you have an office, and you can't do what you are hired to do. At times, it makes me so angry that, I mean, kuna watu wengine wanapaswa kupigwa mawe wapi? Because ile sheria ilikuwa ya Musa. Nafikiria it needs to be applied, because umeajiriwa kwa sababu unapaswa kufanya kazi yako bila kusumbuliwa. Umepewa security of tenure ili ufanye kazi bila kusumbuliwa. Hakuna mtu atakudhalilisha na kwamba atakusaka, na akijaribu kukusaka utalipwa mshahara wako for 6 years. So ni lipi hili ambalo linakuzuia kufanya kile unapaswa kufanya? Mpaka unakwenda kinyume na sheria. Tena ukiulizwa unasema enda kotini. Wewe uvunje sheria wazi tukiona. Tukikuuliza unatutuma tena kotini, ndio koti ifanye nini? So this impunity that we are beginning to see with the current IEBC, it is the old operatives that have resulted into rigging people into office. And if we don't arrest it now, it will bite us then. We did not arrest it in 2013. It beat us in 2017. We didn't arrest it then. It has eaten us in 2022. If we don't deal with it now, let's prepare for another outcry in 2027. The evil and evil people in this country have no limits to how far they can go to do their evil against the people. And therefore, hii warning inaletwa mapema. Tusichukulie hivi hivi. Let's not take it lightly. These people have been cut and put in office to serve a particular interest. And there is an analysis that was done by, I think, Kumekucha on who becomes the chair of IEBC. And from time immemorial, they don't put people who are well-to-do, independent and secure in their independence to become IEBC chair. They avoid that. And he was explaining on what really happened until Chebukati, who was number 6 in the interview, became the chair. And they made the person who was number 2 in the interview become an assistant. Look at that. They take number 6, they make number 1, they take number 2, put number 2 to then fake number 1. Yaani Kenya, mimi nashindwa kuelewa kabisa. Sasa, what was the use? Kwa nini tusumbue watu wafanye application, walete CV, wakae kwa interview, waulize maswali, tukijua kwamba tunataka ile mtu ambaye ni we are looking for a failure. Let's just announce we are looking for the least qualified person, we are the least likely person to be the chair, so that he can't do what he's supposed to do. Tukue at least kuwe na ukweli mmoja, ukweli wa kusema kwamba hatutaki mtu competent, hatutaki mtu smart, hatutaki mtu sharp awe chairman. Tunataka zuzu, tunataka mtu wa kutumiwa awe chairman. Kwa nini tunataka kumtumia afanye kinyume na yale wananchi wamefanya? At least kuwe na kaukweli hapo, ndio tujue kwamba we are going to vote but we will never decide who becomes president. We are going to participate in the elections, but those elections means nothing. So let's get it clear. But this aspect of uchukue mashosho, uchukue kuka, uchukue wakongwe, tusumbue wagonjwa, tumewatoa hospitali wameenda kupiga kura, kumbe hiyo decision wanasema haipo, kura shaamuliwa. So haya madai yanaletwa na Sifuna ya uchunguzi uanze mara moja. Na kama IBC iko na plan ya kufanya haya maovu, wakamatwe mapema. Kwenda kotini, hiyo ni haki ya Wakenya kufanya hivyo, lakini hawapaswi kutumwa kotini na IBC. IBC inapaswa kutekeleza majukumu yake ipasavyo. Hiyo ndio sheria, sio wao kututuma kwa koti. Sisi wenyewe ndio tutaamua kama ni kotini tunakwenda ama tukwendi. Lakini wewe uende kuvunja sheria alafu tuambie twende kotini. Uko sawa na ile mlevi wetu wa kijiji anasema sawa, ana hela anataka kukupiga ili akulipe. Hiyo ndio IBC inatuonyesha, na mapema kwa siku kama hii. Hapana. So dalili ya mvua ni mawingu. Tuanze kuangazia macho yetu kwa hiyo IBC. Kama tunataka kuwa na uchaguzi ambao utalinda matakwa ya Wakenya na maslahi ya Wakenya, basi lazima tuangalie hili kwa kina. Kwa hivyo I support the aspect of not getting IBC off the hook. Let's not hold brief for IBC. And kuwakumbusha tu ninapoanza kutamatisha, kuwakumbusha tu 2017 maswali yalipuliwa mingi kuhusu IBC na Chebukati, na kuna kitu ambacho kimekuwa constant. I want to remind you because some of us forget so quickly, and that is why we end up in the mess where we end up. 2013, the Raila Odinga team raised a lot of questions on these issues of the Electoral Commission, the operatives of the Electoral Commission and all that. There was a constant factor. The William Ruto team, the Uhuru Kenyatta team became the defenders of IEBC. If you can remember, those of you that can remember, 2013, 2017, 2022, the defenders of IEBC, the defenders of any adjustment. When we talk about reforms, they say, no, you are afraid of elections. If you are afraid of elections, leave IEBC out of this. IEBC is not a competitor. You are competing with us. You remember those sentiments? Now look at what is happening right now. Okay? Questions are already being raised about how IEBC is getting in office and how IEBC is operating and who is the defender. Your guess is as good as mine. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Let's stop playing into the same trap that we have fallen in all along. Let's reject anything that will mess with the destiny of this country in the way our elections are supposed to decide on who becomes the CEO of this great country. If there is any form of interference, let's not justify it. Let's not defend it. Let's not uphold it. There is, with this, there is something here that Tuni brought up. He said, Master Gachagua mentioned Raila Odinga in his statement. And it's something that I should talk about, because Raila Odinga seems to be a very convenient name to bring up, especially when you're looking for relevance or you're looking for attention or something like that. Because when Gachagua says Raila Odinga has been compromised by Ruto, what was Raila Odinga's role in the government, both in the Kenya Kwanza administration or any other government? What was his role? His job description? Does he draw a salary to do that? We seem to have a group of people who believe that Raila Odinga was born to defend them, fight for them. And if he's not doing it, he's failing. Even when they deny him the presidency and they deny him wherever leadership opportunity. And there is this sense of entitlement that there are people who have, gotten so much worked up and so much angry about this old man that they can't sleep. They can't breathe properly. Simply because the old man has refused to do what they want him to do. And I find that to be very interesting because when Gachagua was deputy president, his greatest problem was Raila Odinga. And his greatest object of aggression was Raila Odinga. The only problem for the country was Raila Odinga. Unless we want to look on the other side, okay? Tell me if I'm saying anything out of the usual. Raila Odinga was the problem. Yeye ndo alikuwa anaharibu biashara kiitacha protest. Sivyo? Raila Odinga was not even worthy to be alive. He should to be left alive. He needed to be assassinated. Assassination attempts were done. Who are the masterminds? Who was waking up to be in the office by 5 a.m. because they are protests? And then, what has changed? Suddenly, Raila Odinga has now become, I leave that for you. Somebody's playing with us. Gachagua should come out clean and tell us Raila Odinga was born to be on the street, be tear gassed, be shot against. If he's not doing that, he's not Raila Odinga. Hapana. Raila Odinga pia ni mtoto wa watu. Wenye mtoto wanamdefend. Now, I'm not in any way saying that it is right for Raila Odinga. Of course, it is his right to support William Ruto if he wants to do it even in 2027. It is his right. That one you can't, hamwezi kumnyang'anya na hamwezi kumkataza, okay? But kile ninachosema ni hiki. Turuhusu watu wasimamie haki zao za kikatiba na sisi tutekeleze wajibu wetu bila kung'ang'ania ati mtu fulani lazima afanye hivi ndio akuwe Mkenya. Asipofanya hivi Asipokubaliana na sisi sio Mkenya. Asipokubaliana na sisi yeye ni msaliti. Hapana. Hiyo sasa ndio ujanja wa kisiasa ambao nasema tuachane nao. Kama Raila Odinga hafai kuwa rais, hafai kuwa chochote, basi ikuwe hivyo. Si yetu wakati mnamhitaji anakuwa anakuwa darling. Wakati mmepata mnataka kuweka mitego kila mahali asipate chochote. And then you turn around and now begin to tell us that he's been compromised. And then, of course, there are those of you who are obsessed with alipewa pesa, alinunuliwa. Even Gachagua said that. But nimeuliza mpaka tangu, including Miguna. Nataka evidence. Mnipatie tu kitu kidogo tu. Okay, kitu kidogo tu. Nipatie either bank statement, kwa sababu pesa haitembei hewani. Okay? Pesa haitembei hewani, pesa inakuwa transacted. Okay? At least kulikuwa na check alipewa. Miguna ndio alikuja na hiyo story ya check ya Raila Odinga, handshake. Nipatie tu copy moja ya check iliandikwa in favor of Raila Odinga or a bank transfer, because tukitaka, unajua, one of the things that made me love politics at an early age was the way politics were being done in the past with people like Martin Shikuku, would come with credible evidence and table them. And how they used to get those evidences were they were going at any length to get those evidences, including bribing the secretary of a particular person so that they get photocopies of those documents so that they are able to produce them. Lakini leo mtu anaamuka tu anaanza kudai maneno na kila mtu anamwamini. No evidence, no nothing. So Miguna is a senior lawyer. You cannot argue a case like that. You produce evidence. So mimi nataka watu wote ambao mnadai fulani kanunuliwa, and I'm not just talking about Raila Odinga, I'm talking about Samuel, I'm talking about nani huyu Morara. Okay? Tumekuwa everywhere on social media, fulani amenunuliwa. Nipatie something I can substantiate on the matter. Lakini kama ni gossip tu, tuachane nayo. Tuachane na kila mtu wako, and everybody is entitled to change their mind. I'm sure I will be accused here to be supporting William Ruto. I'm simply saying that kusupport William Ruto ama kutosupport William Ruto ni haki ya kila Mkenya kuchagua kufanya hivyo ama kukataa kufanya hivyo, na hakuna mtu anapaswa kushurutishwa kufanya vyovyote. Kulingana na mimi, William Ruto, ingekuwa ni mimi, William Ruto angeona kiti cha urais hata kusongelea karibu, kukigusa. Kwa nini? Maisha yake, siasa zake, historia yake ilionyesha wazi kwamba akipata hiki kiti, hivi ndio mambo itakuwa. Kumbuka kile Jacob Juma alisema. Kumbuka kile Jirongo alisema. Kumbuka yale madai aliyosema yeye mwenyewe kwa maneno yake, William Ruto mwenyewe. So kulikuwa na evidence za kutosha kuonyesha kwamba huyu mtu hafai. So haya mambo yakikwenda mrama hivi yanavyokwenda mrama, sio kitu ambacho kina tustua. It is not coming as, breaking news. It's something that we even anticipated, because we debated here for a year plus, giving all these things. And so whatever that's happening and the clear manifestation of the incompetence of this administration is not news anymore for those of you that have been followers of this particular channel. But having said that, let's not also jump out on things that we have not substantiated, have not concluded, and end up writing off people. So kuna wale wame write off Samuel, kuna wale wame write off Morara, kuna wale wame write off Raila Odinga, kuna wale wame write off everyone who does not agree with their whatever political side. That's the surest way of losing an important wherever, an important person or an important resource simply because it did not agree with whatever you support or whoever you support. In my opinion, we are in a free country. We have a new constitution. That constitution gives us a huge bill of rights. Let's operate within those rights. Let's operate within the boundaries of that constitution. Then at the end of the day, whoever wins becomes president. But let's not allow everybody. Let's not allow everybody. I've told you the movie I watched is called, okay, there was a, I think, I can't remember the title clearly, but a constant phrase was, anybody can make money, but not everybody can become king. Anybody can make money, but not everybody can become king. If there is any lesson Kenyans need to understand, is that one. Making money is not equal to becoming king. Anybody can make money, but not everybody can become king. So if we don't keep and preserve the seat of power for qualified, credible, integrous, faithful, dependable people, we have everything to blame ourselves for allowing anybody and everybody to be on the list of people to be considered to be leaders in this country. And I'm talking that from all levels, from all levels. That include the MCA, includes the Senate, includes the Member of Parliament, includes every one of them. Don't allow everybody to be on that list, especially people with questionable character. It doesn't matter how much money they have. Anybody can make money, but not everybody can make king. So let's separate the tares from the wheat. Let's separate the goats from the sheep. Let us separate who can be king and who can't be king. When we go to the ballot, let it not be a ballot of deciding between who is less evil and who is more evil. That's what we've had all along. Who is more evil, who is less evil? No. Let's be spoiled for choice. Let's get the best of the best to be on the ballot so that Kenyans landing on any one of these will be safe for the country. That's what I advocate for. That is what I advocate for. Let's get the best of the best to be on the ballot. Then anyone Kenyans will decide, we will still be safe. But if we allow everybody on the ballot, Kenyans are going to land on the wrong one. And you will have another 5 years of saying one time. I rest my case. Naomba ning'atuke. Who is this? Yannick TV anasema, you forgot that Raila mentioned Gachagua first. Gachagua was just responding, not necessarily. Gachagua and Raila and Mane, it has been in Gachagua's mouth all along. I'm not just citing one thing. And of course, even when Gachagua was giving a presser, whether in America or here in Nairobi, Raila's name has been on top on the list. And that is why I'm saying he was opposed to Raila Odinga. He stood against Raila Odinga. He said Raila Odinga cannot be a leader, cannot provide leadership. He should stick there. Not for him now to turn around and seek Raila's approval when he dismissed him. That's all that I'm saying. So I'm talking about leaders being constant. Leaders being constant and being constant for what is right and what is constitutional. It's not just exchanges in terms of who likes what, who doesn't like what. Like it has been known everywhere, especially in Mount Kenya, that Raila Odinga was not an option. Okay, then let it stick there. He's not an option. He was not an option. He stays not to be an option. Not when it's convenient for you, you drag his name into your speech. When it's not convenient for you, you brush him off. You dismiss him. That makes you sitting on the fence as a leader, and that when you are pushing for one term and you are bearing like that, it even sells you wrongly. That's all I'm saying. And so Gachagua needs to own up and be able to stand on himself. And that's something that maybe in the next show we'll be looking at. He needs to stand on his own feet, defend his case, and do what he's supposed to do. It is, I don't in any way look down on him because he's discussing people and personal matters, or rather people's names, but that is not a ground to stand on in terms of seeking an elective office or seeking to be kingmaker. To be kingmaker, you need to have something. I mean, we need to know you for something, and we can't know you for gossip. That is not a qualification. We can't know you for reporting matters that you had, that you saw, that you were in the meeting, that it was discussed. I mean, what do you stand for, you Gachagua? What are you offering us? I think those are the issues that we need to raise up too. What do you stand for? When you saw Ruto engaging Al-Shabaab, you saw Ruto engaging RC what? Resistance movement here, Sudan. When you saw him with the M23, what did you do? And you say, when I saw that, I resigned. I kept away from that bad government. Then we know you are a man of truth. You're a man of righteousness. You're a man of integrity. You cannot stand the country being compromised. Then we will follow you. But if you saw all that and you stuck in office until you got impeached, and no sooner were you impeached that you began to reveal what you had agreed in the boardroom, hapana. Hapo tutakuuliza maswali. Wewe utatuchukia tu, lakini mpaka tukuulize maswali. Huu ukweli uliupata lini? Mbona ulinyamaza? Uliona ukanyamaza, ukaona ulinyamaza, uliona dalili zote ukanyamaza, mpaka siku ile ulianza kunyeshewa ndio ukaanza kusema. That makes you unfit to be relied upon as a leader. That's all. Listen to you, yes. Get your message, yes. But follow you, no. Why? Because you have shown the signs. Tunaweza kufuata leo tena useme niliwaambia hivi lakini sikusema hivi. There's a question nilikuwa nataka kuuliza. Wakati Gachagua anasema Ruto ni muongo, okay? Anasema Ruto alimdanganya. Anasema Ruto hawezi kusema ukweli. Wote tunapiga makofi. Okay? Then baadaye anasema Ruto alimwambia kwamba ataenda kumlipa Raila pesa ili Raila amsupport. Swali. Hiyo ilikuwa ukweli ama uongo? Kumbuka Ruto ni muongo. Ruto hawezi kusema ukweli. So lipi la kweli? Kwamba hawezi kusema ukweli, ama akisema ataenda kulipa Raila hela, hiyo ni ukweli. Akisema enda useme kwamba shares ni za watu wa Mount Kenya, hiyo ni ukweli. I leave that with you. Give me a response hapo kwa comments. And then of course na kuomba kama uja subscribe kwa Sound Candy Talk, subscribe. Kama uja tufollow kwa TikTok, tafadhali tufollow. Hapa ndipo tunakutana kila usiku tukichambua siasa zetu, na tungependa kila Mkenya amakinike kwa kujua anasimama wapi. Tuko karibu kwenda kuamua tena nani atakuwa kiongozi wa nchi hii. Na kama vile nimesema, hakuna mtu ako guaranteed second term. Second term unaipata tu wakati umewin elections. So usitishwe na watu wa one term, wa 3 term, half term, no term. Forget that debate and get into understanding. Without winning the elections, there is no way you can be, there is no way you can be guaranteed of the second term. So William Ruto kupata second term mpaka win elections. Na kuna automatic winning of elections. Wajakoya kama kwa ballot, Matiang'i potential akiwa kwa ballot, kuna Maraga, kuna nani mwingine? Ruben my pastor, okay? Kigame, every aspirant. Nilisikia pia Salasia yuko, okay? So tusisumbuane na story ya two term kuanzia wapi. Salasia anaweza kuwa. Wajakoya anaweza kuwa. Matiang'i anaweza kuwa. So tuache history ya kudismiss kila mtu eti kile Kenya inaweza kupata kama rais lazima ikuwe William Ruto. Hapana. Hiyo haijaandikwa kokote na ipo. Go to Kenyan people, let the Kenyan people decide who becomes their president in 2027 if the elections will be there, or 2026 if the elections will be held in 2026. Lakini mambo mengine yote ya kusumbuliwa hapa 2 term, 1 term, tuachane nayo. Let's focus and determine the future of this country based on valid realities. Remember, the IEBC, keep your eye on the IEBC. And then, of course, let's not support evil. Let's not support evil. If Ruto is wrong, tell him he's wrong. If Raila is wrong, tell him he's wrong. But substantiate. Don't just come up with claims. Come up with historical facts that can point us into a concrete decision based on these realities. But just gossip here, nilisikia fulani alipewa milioni ngapi, fulani sio kapewa milioni ngapi, huja tupatia exhibit yoyote, any signal, any bank statement, anything. You're just saying hearsay. Hapana. Kwa hii channel, hiyo tulikataa. Tunataka ukweli, na ukweli usimamiwe wakati wote. Na kuomba tukutane tena katika kipindi kitakachofuata, na kuomba kama subscribe ili tukaendelee kujumuika. Kama hujatufollow TikTok, tafadhali fanya hivyo, na tafadhali pia tunakuomba wale wote ambao mnatusupport kuendeleza mambo haya, juu wajibika. Namba yetu iko pale kwa scrolling information, kutuma M-Pesa yako ya kuchangia kununua token na keep hizi lights zikiwaka ili tukizungumza tunaonekana, especially those of us that are challenged into that direction. But all in all, I want to salute every one of you. Thank you so much. Hapa YouTube nimeona nani, Undumani alishindwa kuingia, sijui kwa nini. Amekuwa akitupata kwa Facebook. Asante sana. Tuni, our PS, asante sana. Thank you, Tuni, for your faithful being here always and ensuring that we are here even when we don't want to be here. Congratulations, and of course, keep doing the right thing. Kuna Abdalla Kweya, asante sana kwa kujumuika nasi katika kipindi. And then of course, nani huyu Talia Bless, asante sana. Thank you so much for always being here and of course being part of this great conversation. Nani mwingine hapa, Emily Adhiambo, asante sana kwa kuendelea kuwa pamoja nasi. And then of course Shadizo himself, the pro, akidai kwamba hakuna kitu kinaweza zuia Ruto. Ruto tamfungia kwa cattle dip. And then of course the Yannick TV, asante sana kwa kuwa hapa. Yannick TV, I think uongo wa Ruto is the things he promised Kenyans about paying. Raila was not a promise to Kenyans. And that's also Yannick TV. Hiyo pia ni swala ambalo ningependa tutaliangazia, but briefly, ningependa tu kusema kwamba katika katiba ya Kenya hakuna sehemu yoyote ambayo inaweza kutuwezesha kumpeleka Ruto kotini kwa kukataa ama kufeli kutimiza ahadi zake, including manifesto. Okay? Akipeana hiyo manifesto na asifanye chochote kwa hiyo manifesto, hakuna mahali tunaweza mpeleka. Hiyo ndio shida. Na ni mojawapo ya vitu ambavyo vinafanya serikali inakuwa tepetevu. Kwa nini? Inaweka katiba kando ati ina concentrate kwa manifesto. Okay? Katiba inasema maisha ya kila Mkenya ilindwe. Manifesto inasema barabara. Okay? So Ruto ameacha kulinda maisha ya kila Mkenya, kuhakikisha afya bora kwa kila Mkenya ama matibabu kwa kila Mkenya, kuhakikisha masomo kwa kila Mkenya, vitu ambavyo vimelindwa na katiba. Okay? Sisi tunamaccuse atalipromise simu tukipiga haita katika mimi naona tusiache kuhandaliwa na masuala ya manifesto, tuangalie katiba, kitu ambacho kitaweza kutusaidia sisi kumkamata William Ruto akitoka ofisini kama amevunja katiba. Lakini kuvunja manifesto, hiyo ni kitu ambacho tuwezi mpeleka kokote. So we can't lose sleep over that. So uongo ni uongo tu, uwe ni wa serikali ama mtu binafsi. Kwangu mimi, kama Ruto ni muongo, na ni muongo wakati wote, chochote anachokisema na chochote anachokidai si kweli. Ni kama shetani. Biblia inasema shetani ni muongo na hawezi kusema ukweli. Okay? Shetani ni muongo na hawezi kufanya nini? Kusema ukweli. Inamaanisha chochote anachokisema sio ukweli. Hivyo tu. Naomba tumalizie hapa tafadhali. Asanteni sana kwa kila mmoja. Tukutane tutakapokutana kwenye masafa haya katika kipindi kitakachofuata. God bless you everyone. Thank you.
Tunazunguka kote kote mchana kutwa kukuletea taarifa na matokeo ya habari kutoka pembe zote za ulimwengu. Jioni tunaweka mduara wa kujadili taarifa zizo hizo kwa mapana na marefu. Ungana nasi kila siku ya wiki kwenye matukio ya siku, saa 2 jioni kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Matukio ya siku, makao makuu ya habari kuu ya siku.
Pharisees couldn't stand him, but they found out they couldn't stop him. Pilate couldn't find any fault in him. Terrorists couldn't kill him. Death couldn't hang him, and the grave couldn't hold him. Yeah! That's my king. That's my king.
You've dreamed about the perfect wedding, the dress, the vows, the happily ever after. But let's ask the most important question. Before you say I do, are you truly ready for the lifelong commitment that comes after the honeymoon period fades? Bernard Ngosi's groundbreaking ebook Are You Marriage Ready is the ultimate guide to building a successful, lasting marriage. This isn't just another relationship book, it's a heart-to-heart conversation that prepares you for one of life's biggest decisions, getting married. Are you choosing love or just infatuation? Are you building a marriage or just planning a wedding day?
Reading this book was a game changer. I realized I wasn't as ready as I thought, but now I'm on the right path.
Don't wait until it's too late. Invest in your future. Download Are You Marriage Ready today. Link in the description below. Your future spouse deserves the best. Are you ready?